Dear students, my name is Jordan Simonov, and I would like to present a topic called Approaches and Procedures for Legislation of Pesticides in the European Union. In particular, active substances are licensed for use at European Union level as different formulations suitable for use on different cultivations and in different geographical areas of European Union. Protection of agricultural workers, of consumers, of the environment are included into authorization procedure also. It is clear that the increased awareness of the potential threats of uncontrolled use of substances of poorly known toxicity have led to an improved legislation in Western Europe and in other developed countries. At present, the licensed pesticides are among the chemical substances of which the toxicological properties are best known. The general pathway and procedure for selection and development in industrial research, which is leading to authorization in the European Union of any new active substances as a plant protection product, are presented graphically. This is the title page for presentations of the Erasmus Project ToxOR Learning Toxicology through open educational resources. And now let us go back on the topic and include some more detail. Plant protection products or pesticides are chemical formulations which consist of one or more active substances and other ingredients. Their role is the protection of plants and crops in agriculture, horticulture, forestry and gardening. Plant protection products share several similarities with pharmaceuticals. Pesticides are produced to control living species and therefore they are necessarily toxic. Pesticides are deliberately spread into the environment to reach their targets and therefore can be source of environmental pollution and human exposure. Pesticides are produced to fight against pests, but the specificity of their toxicity for their targets is limited. Please look at the typical advertising for the positive role of pesticides in agriculture and food production. Developing new pesticides means finding chemical entities with multiple requirements as activity towards the targeted living species with an appropriately vulnerable biological pathway, or resistance to the environmental conditions of field application in order that biologically active doses can reach the targeted living species, or sufficient selectivity towards the targeted living species, and this means that the product does not display toxicity towards non-target species. In the European Union, no plant protection product can be used unless it has first been scientifically established that they have no harmful effects on consumers, farmers, local residents and passers-by, or they do not cause unacceptable effects on the environment, or they are sufficiently effective against target pests. The European Union will authorize only active substances that are sufficiently effective under reasonable conditions of use, or do not have immediate or delayed harmful effect on human health, including that of vulnerable groups, or do not have any unacceptable effects on plants or plant products, or do not cause any unnecessary suffering and pain to vertebrates to be controlled, or do not have any unacceptable effects on the environment. So please take a close look at the general pathway followed by the selection of new candidates of active substances. Here we show the route for development of selected active substances and their pathway as pesticides in industrial research. Here we present the complex procedure leading to authorization of a new active substances as PPP in the European Union. At the end of the presentation is the closing page of the Toxor project, where you can see the logos of the participating educational institutions from 7 European countries.